Good afternoon. The October 18th meeting of the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust will be in order. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the October 4th meeting and the October 20 and the September 27th meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve both sets of minutes. Are there questions or changes that need to be made? Voting, please. The minutes are approved. The next item is a consent docket, and number of items. Do you have a motion on the consent docket?
Move the consent docket subject to individual consideration.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the consent docket subject to individual consideration. Are there matters to be discussed separately? Hearing none, voting please. Consent docket is approved. The next item is emergency construction projects. And the first one is project SC 0856. 8th and Laird.
Move approval.
Second. A motion and a second to approve item 4A. Discussion. Voting. 4A is passed. Next item is item 4B. Move the item. It's a resolution. Have a second? Second. Have a motion and a second to approve item 4B. Is there discussion on this matter? Hearing none, voting please. 4B is approved. 4C is another resolution.
We do 4A2 as well as 4A1.
We did A.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I understand. Okay.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the resolution in item 4C. Is there discussion? Hearing none, voting please. 4C is approved. Item 4D is a resolution, another resolution approving emergency bidding.
Move approval.
Second. Motion and a second to approve item 4D. Is there questions or are there questions or comments? Hearing none, voting please. Item 4D is approved. Item 4E, ratification of action of the general manager on another emergency at Portland to Santa Fe on Southwest 74th. Move the item. Motion and a second to approve item 4D. Are there comments or questions? Hearing none, voting please. 4D is approved. Next item is item 5. These matters have to be considered individually. The first is item 5A, a resolution ratifying the actions of the general manager concerning a consent order.
Move we adopt the resolution.
Second. Motion and a second to approve item 5A. You have a little bit of explanation about it? The fish kill, it says.
Line maintenance experienced a break, and unfortunately some of the water went into the area where the fish was in the creek, and due to either the chlorine or loss of oxygen, we think probably it affected the fish and had a kill.
How many fish?
I'm not sure how many fish there were in this case.
Where was it?
We can get back to you on that one, but
Where was it? Where was it?
near Southwest 39th and Robinson,
In Lightning
South
Creek.
Grand and Santa Fe area.
In Lightning Creek. Sounds like Lightning Creek.
And city water killed fish in Lightning Creek. There's some interesting fish. I will tell you. They must have been, well, anyway. Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve. Further comments? I'm sorry I asked that question. I apologize to all. Voting, please. Items approved. Item 4B is a resolution concerning the purchase of utility equipment items. $2 million.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve item 5B. Comments or questions? Voting, please. 5B is approved. 5C, authorizing the general manager as designated to negotiate with railroads management companies concerning railroad crossings.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Discussion.
A question, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't sure exactly how this works. We entered a contract with a license fee, and somebody else raises the price, and so we have to raise our fee. Is that provided for in the contract, that we be responsive to any fee increase?
The railroads were granted patents under which they're permitted to issue revenue permits which have fees.
Okay.
The railroads generally only issue temporary licenses for 3 years, and then as those expire, they up the fees and issue another permit. What we're looking to do is either negotiate permanent rights to either parallel or cross railroad tracks, or to condemn permanent rights so we're not subject to regular fee increases.
I have a motion on item 5C. I need a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve item 5C. Is there further discussion? Voting, please. 5C is approved. Item 5D, resolution approving the issuance of commercial paper notes.
Move the item.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve item 5D.
Do we anticipate issue additional commercial paper to justify this backup line?
The moving from 125 to 150 will give us the ability to award more
Understand.
contracts, to increase the amount of funds that are out on commercial paper before we go to a permanent financing.
So we are
Make it more
intending
cost
to,
efficient.
we're going to issue more commercial paper.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, yes.
Well, mostly, there's two parts. Recall that there's two parts. There's, under Oklahoma state law, we have to have the capacity to award the contract. It's the capacity that we have issue with. The actual amount outstanding at any one time may not be materially different than it has been in the past, because we historically have been moving from commercial paper, temporary financing, to permanent financing in the range of 65 to $85 million has been our benchmark conversion point, and that will remain constant. What we're after is the ability to keep awarding contracts, and that's a separate track where we have to have the capacity to award the contracts and avoid the negative arbitrage of borrowing early and keeping cash on temporary interest.
So when we issue that contract, we'll then issue commercial paper to pay it?
We only issue the commercial paper when we pay claims.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Yes.
But we pay claims at the completion of the project or during some interim time. When we enter the contract, there's nothing completed, so we don't have any claim, but we have to have the capacity to do that. Is
Right.
that okay?
Yes.
Further questions? Hearing none, voting please. Item 5D is approved. Item 5E, I believe that we've decided there is no need to enter an executive session.
That's correct. Not this time.
We
It
did.
could be stricken.
So we
The motion.
Move to strike.
have a second. Second. Motion and a second to strike it. Voting please. Is there new business? Comments from trustees, staff, citizens? Charlie Swinton. That's it. Right after citizens, nobody. No further business, we're adjourned.